is going to be about arithmetic sequences. And this is just one type of sequence. So for our definition, we can say that arithmetic means it's a sequence in which the pattern, so what's happening to the sequence, is it adding, subtracting, multiplying? So when that pattern is adding or subtracting a constant. So that means the pattern stays the same the entire time. It's always adding 5 or always subtracting 5 or maybe 2 or some other number. Common difference is just going to be, what is that pattern? So the difference between two terms. And then we'll represent that with the letter D. So that's going to be like our variable. So let's start with just a few deciding if it's arithmetic or not. So decide if it's arithmetic, then if it is, find the common difference and give the next three terms. So we'll just do a few of them. This one goes 5, 8, 11, 14, 17. So if we look at that, it looks like this is going up by 3. And it does seem to follow that adding 3 each time. So this one is arithmetic because it adds the same thing each time. And the difference is positive 3. For the next three terms, we know we would just add 3 again. So we'd be at 20, 23, and 26. Let's try this one down here. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Well, that's plus 1. That's also plus 1, but, ooh, that's plus 2. So this one is not arithmetic because it's not the same difference. If we check out the one down here, this looks like that would be adding 10 to go from negative 20 to negative 10. But then it's only adding 5. Or you could say it's dividing by 2, which isn't adding or subtracting. So this one's also a no. And let's just try one more. Here, this one's going down, so our common difference is negative. 23, to get down to 16, I have to take away 7. 23 minus 16 is 7. And let's see if that holds true. 16 minus 7 is 9. 9 minus 7 is 2. 2 minus 7 is negative 5. So this one's a yes. And the difference is negative 7. And then we could keep going to find another three terms. So negative 5 minus 7 would be negative 12, negative 19, and negative 26, and on and on. And let's go down to our formula. So for our arithmetic sequence formula, the nth term, this is going to be represented as a sub n. So a sequence would be like a sub 1, a sub 2, a sub 3. This means first term, second term, third term, and on and on and on. So our formula is going to be the common difference times n minus 1, and n is just our variable. And then we add on our first term, a sub 1. So a sub 1 is the first term, and d is the common difference. So we're going to call this our formula for the nth term, or our rule, and we're going to always refer back to this formula here. So for our examples, it says write a rule for each sequence, then find the indicated term. So if we're writing a rule, that means we want this here. But we will have a value for D and for A1. So let's try our first one. First, we want to figure out what the A1 and what the D are, these two parts here. So this is the first term, so this is A1. So we can say A1 equals negative 5, and then we need our common difference. So we're not going to deal with this until later. Well, it looks like it's increasing, so it's positive, and the difference seems to be adding 4 each time. Now we're just going to put that into D and A1. So we have A sub n equals, and instead of D, we're going to put 4. So 4 times n minus 1 plus, so we've got this part, and then we need plus A1, which is negative 5. Well, that looks weird, so I'm just going to kind of put it in parentheses. Now we're just going to multiply it out and simplify a little bit. So this 4 distributes to the 2 inside the parentheses, so that'd be 4n, and 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. And that would be plus negative 5 or just minus 5. And then last step, combine like terms. These are both just numbers. This has a variable though, so we're going to leave it 4n. Negative 4 and negative 5 makes negative 9. So this is our formula here. A sub n equals 4n minus 9. So if we put in anything here, that'll tell us that term. So if it was a sub 10, we could put 10 here, and that would tell us what the 10th term is. So let's try it with a24. Okay, so this is part 1. We're going to use this to find this one. So we're just going to put 24 in for n. So 4 times 24 minus 9. Well, if you calculate 4 times 24, you will end up getting 96. And 96 minus 9 is 87. So we're just evaluating this part here. Multiply, then subtract. Okay, so we've got the nth term, and then we found the 24th. And let's try another one here with maybe a negative difference. So this one here is 20, 11, 2. So it looks like this one's going down by 9 each time. So we know A1 is 20, and we know the difference is negative 9 because it subtracts 9 each time. Now let's put that into our formula. So we have A sub n equals, and instead of d, we put negative 9. And then in the parentheses, we have n minus 1. And then plus A1, well, A1 is 20. Now we just do the same thing. We multiply this negative 9 by both of these, distributing. So it's negative 9n, and negative times negative makes positive 9. And then we drop the 20. Combine like terms. That'll be negative 9n. Both of those added together makes positive 29. So we have our formula for the nth term here. And last step would just be what's A15. So A15 is just going to be the same as this, but now we have a 15 for the n. So negative 9 times 15 plus 29. Running out of space. So if you multiply negative 9 and 15 together, you get negative 135 plus 29, which makes negative 106. So our main focus is this, but we can use it to find another term. Feel free to work ahead on your own if you want. If you'd like one more example, we will go through number 10 as well. So this one looks like it's going up by 1.5 each time. So the first term is 8, and this time the difference is positive 1.5. For a sub n, we need the difference, 1.5, n minus 1, so that's coming from here, and then plus a sub 1 is 8. So we'll do the same thing, distribute. That's 1.5n. Well, 1.5 times 1 is 1.5 plus 8. And then last step, 1.5n. Well, negative 1.5 and 8 is just going to be 8 minus 1.5, which is 6.5. So there's our nth term. And then we can just use that to find A48. Which means we're just going to put 48 here, so 1.5 times 48 plus 6.5. And when you calculate that out, this part here ends up being 72 plus 6.5 makes 72 plus 6.5 is 8, so 78.5. All right, thank you.